We haven't done this in forever.
I know. Oh, and she's gone.
The cat is gone. Hey everyone, Dan and Leslie back for another Disney dining review.
Today we are headed to Disney Springs to Wine Bar George. We have been to Wine Bar George a couple of times. One with like a large group of friends that we kind of got like snacks and drinks and meandered, I guess, a little bit. And then another time with our family on a very, very rainy Disney Springs day. But I'm excited to get to go and like fully try to experience this restaurant.
Going during the middle of the day, so it's a late lunch, but it will be into their dinner menu. So there are a couple ways that you can do this. You can go and get like small bites. So they've got like charcuterie, they have like shareable like plates, more like appetizer-y type things. Or you can get one of their entrees. I think they have a ribeye and something else.
Chicken.
Or you can get like a shareable kind of big entree type of thing, like a skirt steak that feeds 2 to 4 people for $70 some odd. So,
or the sea bass for $74, I think.
I don't know that we would do that. I think we want to try as much as we can, but we are also not opposed to getting extra and bringing some home for the kids for their dinner tonight because we want to try as much as possible.
We approach these dining reviews a little differently than we do whenever we just go out. I mean, obviously, whenever we go out, we just get what looks good. We don't necessarily always ask their opinion. So I'm looking forward to trying a little bit of everything. They do have some specialty cocktails, which I think we may try out. But I mean, really the winner here is the wine.
I mean, it's Wine Bar George. It is run by George, what's his name? George something. He is a Master Sommelier, which is an incredibly hard certification to get. You have to really, really know your wine. I'm sure he very much knows his wine. It's hard for us to rate a category of drinks based off of just bottled wine. So unless they do something special with wine pairings and the food, we will probably not get a ton of bottled wine. We will probably see what they can do that's creative, inventive, with new flavors on their cocktails, spins on cocktails, that kind of thing. Of course, if they have an old fashioned, which I know they do, I will probably get that just to see, because I'm on a mission here to find the best old fashioned on Disney World property.
They do have their own sangria, which I'm intrigued by, because that is a wine base.
It is a take on wine, so that may be a good option to do that.
We'll see.
They have a lot of like really like high-end expensive like wine that you can taste, like get a 1 ounce pour of something that would normally cost thousands of dollars a bottle and that kind of thing. So that's kind of interesting, like for me and my wine certification background, but probably not today for a dining review.
Probably not.
There is only one way to find out how Wine Bar George will hold up to a food review.
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, so we have arrived to Wine Bar George, and we got our cocktails. One with the old-fashioned, of course.
Of course.
I mean, have to, right? It does have one crystal clear ice cube, which I very much appreciate. It's simple, it's clean. The simple syrup is not overpowering, which is nice. And I do like the garnish of the orange and the cherry. You get that aroma whenever you sip it. I think this is probably one of the better simple, like traditional old fashions that I've had.
I got the Hoot, which was actually a drink discovered by the Master Sommelier George. It's made with 12-year aged whiskey. It's very good. You definitely get the ginger beer, but there's like some fruity undertones, so it's got like a little bit of sweetness to it. He kind of compared it to a Kentucky Mule, and I could see that. Like it has some kind of same notes as that.
We just ordered a bunch of appetizers, so it turns out that the lunch menu and the dinner menu, all of the small plates are exactly the same. The only thing that changes are the couple of entrees. So the first thing that came out was the hummus, which actually looks quite good.
Very good. They did offer to bring more non-bread or cucumbers out, so that's really nice because there's a huge amount of hummus on there. So to like, I always hate that whenever the proportions aren't correct. It's very fresh.
Oh, it's really good.
It's very good. It's got a little spice to it. That non-bread it's really light and fluffy. It's got some great seasoning on top of it as well. So, I mean, it pairs well with the hummus. Very, very good.
So I think we've actually got everything. They brought the pork belly, the onion, the burrata out, and then immediately right after that brought the saganaki on fire, which was really cool. They poured like alcohol on it and lit it on fire.
And I would cut it pretty immediately. The bread might have gotten a little extra crispy on there.
So they said eat this first because it does tend to harden once the cheese melts.
That is good. It's like the baked cheese goodness that you get whenever like you do a casserole and like you pop the little baked cheese in your mouth. It's like, that's really good.
Some of that juice in there on that bread. That's the way to do it. They also squeezed lemon over the top of it, and that's underneath the cheese. Dipping the bread, like the crostinis, in that lemon juice stuff with the cheese is super good.
Next up is the miso roasted Vidalia onion. This was my pick actually. I love a good like cooked onion. My family always did this thing where they would put like a Vidalia onion inside of foil with bacon on top and butter and like grill it, and it was so delicious. That is delightful. It is cooked to perfection. It's sweet.
It's really good. It's clean, it's light, it's refreshing. It's not super filling. I mean, it's just like 1.5 onions that's like roasted, but it is super soft, very, very flavorful. It's nice. Up next is the burrata. We wanted to jump to this because it seems to be soaking in this crispy bread that's underneath it, but it's got that really nice soft cheese on top of this tomato mixture. Looks fantastic.
Feels like a really fancy bruschetta.
It does.
Oh, is it mint?
Yeah. Everything's fresh. The bread is fresh. The tomatoes are fresh. Whatever they've seasoned the tomatoes in is really, really good. It's different though.
Now we have the crispy mac and cheese bites. I have heard amazing things about these, so I'm a little bit excited about trying this out.
They come on a bed of like a marinara sauce. Oh, look at that. It's like a really, really creamy mac and cheese in just a crusty, deep fried shell.
The shell is fantastic.
The shell is fantastic. The mac and cheese is actually really good, and the tang of that tomato marinara sauce underneath just really like finishes it off. That's one of my favorite things so far. That's really good.
That is really good.
Last but not least is the crispy pork belly. It actually looks really good.
Holy wow. That's probably my favorite thing.
I don't dig the seeds on it.
I do.
So it's roasted pumpkin with some sort of seeds, maybe pumpkin seeds actually on top. But the pork belly and the sweet glaze is fantastic. It's crispy on the outside, nice and tender and juicy on the inside. This may be my favorite pork belly I've had at Disney World.
Yeah.
I could do without the pumpkin and the seeds. Those kind of add a texture that I'm not digging, but as far as...
Whereas I kind of enjoy it.
You like it, so I guess that's just...
Preference?
Personal preference.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually a really enjoyable dinner made out of a bunch of appetizers.
Yeah. I really think that that's the way to do it whenever you come here. The times before that we've come, I wasn't that excited about this review because we had tried to get like the bigger things, and I really enjoyed this a whole lot more.
Yeah. They do have the charcuterie boards and the entrees and all that stuff, but honestly, this was fantastic for the same price almost. You can get a bunch of different tastes, and they were all very good. We had some favorites and some not so favorites, but we will share that when we finish this up at home.
All right. All right, we're going to get all into this, but first, if you are looking to plan your next magical vacation, please reach out to us over at fantasticalvacations.com. We plan Disney destinations, Universal, cruise lines, and all-inclusive resorts.
I was actually pleasantly surprised the last 2 times we were here. They were not like full meals. In fact, we still just got appetizers today, but we made a full meal out of it.
Yeah, so I guess just let's go ahead and dive right into this, right?
Let's dive. Let's dive.
Theming and ambiance. So, I mean, it is well positioned right there across from Hangar Bar and the boathouse. And so you've got like a nice view across the way of the water, of the big balloon that goes up and down. And so we asked if we could sit outside on the balcony. They have a very small balcony area that to me feels like what you would find in like a city dining experience, right? So, because it's just tiny, like little balcony experience, so it's not like huge, but even the inside is very well decorated for a wine bar.
There's nothing like over the top. I do appreciate the balcony where you can kind of look out onto Disney Springs like that. Gideon's is off to one side, and then Jock Lindsay's is across the way, and you can kind of people watch out there, so that's nice. And the rooms are broken up kind of nice too. So like ground level inside is just kind of a bar, and that's kind of primarily what you do in there. There is a to-go window outside, which is handy if you don't have a reservation or can't get one. So we gave ambiance a 4.
Yep. Service.
So
he did a great job. I mean, he didn't really go above and beyond for like storytelling or giving us suggestions or anything like that. He was nice enough and cleared things and filled our water and all of that piece of it. They did, honor our request to sit out on the balcony, so that was nice. So we think it's above average, but not anything like over the top.
He was slightly above average for just a server, so we gave him a 3.5.
Yep.
Let's talk drinks. So what I do appreciate about this place, it's a wine bar. They have an amazing selection of wine, but we don't like to rate just on wine selection. We like to rate on like what they do with that selection, or if they have cocktails, their creativity with those cocktails. We thought the cocktails were really good.
Yeah, they were solid. I ended up getting, it was called The Hook, and it was actually discovered by Wine Bar George, like by the sommelier, and it had whiskey and a creme de cassis, which I think is some kind of fruity something, and then some ginger beer. So it was kind of like a little spin off of a Kentucky Mule, and it was done really well.
The old fashioned was one of the better simple old fashions. So it was, just the whiskey, the bitters, the simple syrup. It was very simple. One very large, very clear, crystal clear ice cube, which I appreciated. The garnishes in there were fantastic. Orange bitters, which I prefer in a simple old fashioned. It was done well. I think between that and the Boathouse, those two are my favorite, just basic standard old fashions on property so far.
Yes. So we gave drinks a 4 in this case.
Food. This was actually surprisingly great. The food was quite good.
Yeah, so I would say, so we ended up getting just a bunch of small plates, which are available at lunch and dinner. We arrived at like 2:45, so there was like 15 minutes of lunch left, which, side note, they take annual pass and DVC discounts only during lunch.
Good to know, yeah.
So since we arrived during lunchtime, we were able to get that discount applied, but
10%, nothing huge.
Yeah. So we chose to do several of the small plates since you could get those at both lunch and dinner. And we kind of wanted to try a bunch of them because that was something that we hadn't really done before. We've done the cheese boards. We did the like big giant like cheese and meat board before. And those were very well done and delicious.
They were, but again, you're just chopping up meats and cheeses but here they are crafting these dishes. So my personal favorite were the crispy mac and cheese bites.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Crispy mac and cheese? So just basically balls of really creamy mac and cheese fried in a nice, just crispy breading shell, and then served on top of this like, layer of marinara sauce that it was just like, it was tangy from the marinara and just creamy from the mac and cheese and crunchy from, it was a great bite, both like mouth feel and flavor. It was very good.
I think my favorite was actually the miso glazed Vidalia onion.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the pork belly?
I don't know. So the pork belly, the crispy mac and cheese bites, and the onion were all in my top 3. But I think that onion, only because it was like, it was sweet and cooked well, and it had the crispy quinoa on top, and it was light. So it was just, it was something that I think I could go in and get and not come out feeling just icky.
I was not expecting that. All that to say, all 6, I believe we got 6 dishes. They were all really well done. There was nothing that like needed more flavor or had too much salt or whatever. I mean, they were just like really nicely balanced, and we gave them a 4.5 on food. It was, surprisingly, for a wine bar, the food was actually really good.
If you add all that together, it's 16, which comes out to be a 4 for the rating overall. I will say that our server did, whenever they brought out the, what was the thing on fire? Saganaki?
Something like that.
Saganaki on fire, the cheese. He recommended us eating that soon and cutting into it soon. So we did eat most of it, and then I tried a bite later. He was right.
Oh, not good? I didn't try it after.
It wasn't great.
Okay.
So definitely eat it soon if you're going to eat that. So if that's something that's on your list of things and you're getting several different things, definitely put that up front.
There you have it. We will definitely be back. I think this is a solid option for Disney Springs dining, and it's one that has plenty of seating, so it's not too terribly hard to find a reservation for Wine Bar George. Side note, they have a brunch. We will be back for that when we start our brunch series, so I'm very much looking forward to the brunch at Wine Bar George.
So excited for brunch series. If you are liking these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.
And we will see you on the next video.